The restaurant goes to Marco. My father's words hung in the air like stale smoke, suffocating and bitter. I sat across from him in the office of Romano's, the family restaurant I'd practically grown up in, trying to process what he'd just said. But I've been running this place for 15 years, I said, fighting to keep my voice steady. Marco hasn't even worked here since college. My name is Isabella Romano. At 35, I was watching my father hand over my life's work to my younger brother, simply because he was born a man. Dad leaned back in my chair, the one I sat in every day, managing the books, handling suppliers, keeping Romano's the best Italian restaurant in Boston. Bella, you're an excellent chef, he said in that patronizing tone I'd grown to hate. But running a business? That's not for women. You belong in the kitchen doing what you do best. My hands clenched under the desk. What I do best is everything. I revamped the menu, modernized our system, built our wine program from scratch. Our revenue has tripled since I took over operations. That's wonderful, he replied, waving his hand dismissively. You can keep cooking. But Marco has an MBA. He understands business. I almost laughed. Marco's MBA hadn't stopped him from failing at 3 different startups. He hadn't set foot in Romano's for anything more than family dinners in years. His MBA didn't help when he lost investors' money on that tech venture, I reminded Dad. Or when his cryptocurrency scheme collapsed. Dad's face hardened. That's different. This is a real business. A family business. Marco needs this, Isabella. He needs to prove himself. And there was the truth. Marco, the golden boy who couldn't succeed on his own, needed Romano's as his safety net. Never mind that I'd poured my heart and soul into this place since I was 20. What about what I need? I asked quietly. What about everything I've built here? You're being dramatic, Dad said. Nothing's really changing. You'll still be head chef. Still in charge of the kitchen. That's always been your place. My place. Like I was a piece of furniture meant to sit in the corner. I stood slowly, smoothing my chef's coat. When does this transition happen? Marco starts next week, Dad said. He has some ideas for modernizing things. Making the place more current. More current? I had just finished overseeing a full renovation of the dining room, updated the ordering system, and launched a catering division. But apparently that wasn't current enough. I see. I reached into my pocket, pulled out my keys, the ones to the restaurant, the wine cellar, the office I'd occupied for over a decade, and placed them on his desk with a quiet click. Then I guess you'll need these. Dad blinked, finally cracking. What are you talking about? I quit. Don't be ridiculous, he scoffed. You can't quit. You're family. Watch me. I pushed the keys across the desk. Good luck explaining to our regulars why their favorite dishes suddenly taste different. And you might want to warn Marco. Our seafood supplier only takes orders on Thursdays. Our produce guy requires cash. And the wine cellar? The system monitors temperature hourly. One wrong setting and you'll ruin it all. I turned to leave. Isabella. Dad's voice stopped me. You're being foolish. Where will you go? What will you do? I looked back at him, the man who taught me to cook but never believed I could do more. I'm going to prove you wrong. That night I sat in my apartment with a glass of wine and my old recipe journal, the one where I'd collected ideas for years. Ideas Dad had dismissed as too modern, too different, not traditional enough. My phone buzzed. A text from Marco. Hey sis. Heard the news. Don't worry, I'll take good care of the place. Maybe I'll even modernize that old school menu of yours. I blocked his number. Another buzz. This time from Sofia Martinez, my sous chef of 5 years. Just heard. I quit too. Those idiots won't last a week without us. I smiled and called her back. Want to help me start something new? I thought you'd never ask, she replied. I know a realtor with the perfect space. Kitchen fully equipped. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. I took out a loan against my condo, called in favors from industry friends, and built something of my own. The space Sofia found was in an up-and-coming neighborhood, far enough from Romano's to avoid direct competition, but close enough for our loyal customers to find us. I named it Resignation, Italian for roots. Romano's might have been my family's restaurant, but my roots in cooking went deeper than any name. My team came together quickly. Sofia brought most of the old kitchen staff. Our longtime sommelier, disgusted by Marco's plan to streamline the wine list, joined us too. Even our produce supplier agreed to add us to his Thursday rounds. The menu was everything I'd dreamed of creating at Romano's. Traditional Italian dishes reimagined with modern techniques and local ingredients. No more being constrained by Dad's insistence on the way we've always done it. Opening night was a month away when I got the first panicked call from Romano's. It was Linda, one of the servers who'd stayed. "The new menu is a disaster," she whispered. Marco replaced half the dishes with frozen pasta and pre-made sauces to cut costs. 3 tables walked out last night. I thanked her for the information but didn't engage. Romano's wasn't my problem anymore. A week later, a local food blogger posted a scathing review of Romano's, calling out the dramatic drop in quality and the disappearance of their signature dishes. That same day, she posted a tantalizing preview of Radisai's upcoming opening. And for the first time in years, I felt free. Featuring photos of our test dishes and hints about the exciting new direction in Italian cuisine, we built anticipation online for weeks. The night before our opening, I stood in Radisai's kitchen, running final checks on everything. The space hummed with possibility, shiny copper pots hanging from the ceiling, herbs growing in window boxes, the wood-fired oven warming for tomorrow's service. My phone buzzed. A text from Dad. "This is childish, Isabella. Come back where you belong." I deleted it without responding and turned to my team. "Ready to make history?" Sophia grinned, tying on her apron. The first review came 3 weeks after opening. I was plating a new dish when Sophia burst through the kitchen door, waving her phone. "Boston Globe," she shouted. "They're calling us revolutionary." My hands trembled slightly as I grabbed the phone. The headline read, "Radisai redefines Italian cuisine. A star is born in Boston's restaurant scene." The review gushed. "Chef Isabella Romano has done the impossible, taking traditional Italian cuisine and elevating it to an art form. Each dish tells a story of heritage and innovation. The handmade squid ink pasta with locally sourced seafood alone is worth the visit. Praised our wine pairings, our service, everything." But it was the last paragraph that made my heart stop. Meanwhile, the historic Romano's, now under new management, seems to have lost its way. Recent visits reveal a marked decline in quality, with many signature dishes notably absent. One wonders if the Romano family realizes what they lost when they let their talented chef depart. I handed the phone back to Sophia and went back to plating. "We're not celebrating yet. This is just the beginning." And it was. The Globe review opened the floodgates. Food bloggers, local celebrities, and curious diners filled our reservation books. We started keeping a waiting list that stretched months ahead. Then came the call that changed everything. "Ms. Romano?" The voice was crisp, professional. "This is James Martin from the Michelin Guide. We'd like to schedule a formal review of Radisai." I nearly dropped the phone. Michelin didn't just review new restaurants. Someone important had noticed us. The next 2 months were intense. We refined every dish, perfected every service detail. I practically lived in the kitchen, testing and retesting recipes until each one was flawless. Meanwhile, Romano's continued to crumble. Marco's modernization had driven away loyal customers. His attempts at fusion dishes and Instagram-worthy gimmicks fell flat. Dad had begun dipping into his retirement savings to keep the place afloat. Linda, our inside source, kept me updated. "They tried copying your squid ink pasta," she whispered one day. "It was a disaster. 3 people got food poisoning." I wished I could say I didn't care. But each update felt like a knife twisting in my gut. Romano's had been my life for 15 years. Watching Marco destroy it was like watching someone vandalize a masterpiece. The Michelin review came on a quiet Tuesday evening. We didn't know which table it was. We treated every guest as if they were the one. 2 weeks later the call came. "Congratulations," James Martin said warmly. "Radisai has been awarded 1 Michelin star." The kitchen erupted in cheers. Sophia popped champagne. And for once I let myself celebrate. We had done it. We had proven that innovation and tradition could coexist, that being just a chef wasn't a limitation but a foundation for something greater. The next morning the local news ran 2 stories side by side. Radisai earns prestigious Michelin star. Historic Romano's files for bankruptcy. That afternoon, Dad showed up at Radisai. He looked older, heavier with regret. He stood awkwardly in the reception area watching the staff prepare for service. "The place looks nice," he said finally. "I didn't look up from the reservation list. We're fully booked. If you'd like to dine here, I can put you on the waiting list." "Isabella." His sigh was heavy. "I was wrong about everything." Marco didn't understand the restaurant. It wasn't just about cooking or business. It was about heart. About passion. You had that. You always did. I finally looked at him. And now he's run it into the ground. "We're selling, if we can find a buyer." "The bank," he trailed off, embarrassed. Maybe you could buy Romano's. Restore it. Make it part of your success." I thought about it for 2 seconds. "No." He blinked. "But it's your heritage. Your family's legacy." "My legacy is here." I gestured around at Radisai. "I built this from nothing with people who believed in me. I don't need Romano's anymore." His shoulders sagged. "Then what am I supposed to do?" "Learn from it," I said simply. "Learn that sometimes the best person for the job isn't the one who looks the part or has the degree. It's the one who's been doing the work all along, whether you noticed or not." After he left, Sophia found me in the kitchen testing a new recipe. "You okay?" she asked softly. I looked around at my kitchen. Not the one I'd inherited, but the one I'd built. At my team chosen for their passion and talent, not their gender or their connections. At the line of tickets already printing for tonight's service. "I'm perfect," I said, tying on my apron. "Let's make dinner." 6 months later, Radisai opened a second location. A year after that, we earned our second Michelin star. The old Romano's building was eventually sold to a young female chef with big dreams and bold ideas. I heard her food was excellent. Sometimes late at night I think about Dad's words. "Women belong in the kitchen." He was right in a way. Some of us do belong in the kitchen. Running it, revolutionizing it, proving that the heart of any great restaurant isn't about gender, tradition, or MBAs. It's about passion, innovation, and the courage to believe in yourself even when no one else does. Even now, Dad still doesn't quite understand. But that's okay. I didn't do this for him. I did it for everyone who's ever been told to stay in their place. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't proving others wrong. It's proving yourself right.